So, for some of us who have been watching the marijuana market for a while, we've seen some of these cycles of hype and disappointment, generally focused around some kind of catalyst, whether it's Canada opening up their recreational market, Canada opening up an additional recreational market. In the US, it's been really piecemeal. I'd love to hear why you think now is a great time to start investing in cannabis. And maybe that can speak to some of our viewers who have not yet taken the plunge into this space, but may be interested in doing so.
I tend to be a little bit more sober is probably the wrong word, right? Adjective. But when approaching ideas like these thematics, I used to go to, back when we could do events in person, I used to go to the cannabis conference in Las Vegas, and they had an institutional investing day. And I went a few years ago when cannabis was in its upward trajectory of, all the stocks going to the moon, and sat in on the institutional investing day. And this is before the fund was launched, and looked around, and the things that I heard reminded me so much of the late 90s internet ideas. People were getting up and giving presentations and saying, you cannot value cannabis stocks based on any metrics of valuation. And they started coming up with all sorts of other reasons why you could own these stocks, but value and fundamentals was never one. And obviously a red flag. I think people were drinking beers and vaping and smoking in the conference. It is about 10 a.m. So with any sort of gold rush, you have people that are attracted from all sides when they see the money flowing, right? You have the big conglomerates, you have people that are a little bit shady, and then of course companies, from all locations and domiciles ready to get in on it. So we launched this fund. I actually went on Bloomberg, and you can find the video, and a very similar question was asked, and this would have been, I guess, last summer. This feels like the longest decade ever, this 1 year. So I think it was last summer.
To that.
2020 is almost over. We still have 2 months left. I don't know how that's possible, that we still have some more time left in this year. What else could they throw at us? Aliens? I don't know. Okay, so
don't jinx us.
Nice aliens, though. You never know. I went on TV and they asked me a similar question. I said, actually, look, I'm not going to stand here and be this unabashed bull. I think many of these companies are pre-earnings. Some of these companies are pre-revenue, and the valuations, seem to be pretty expensive. And my approach to this is one where it's a decade-long approach. It's not next quarter, next month, next year. And the way that I think about it is, I want exposure to this theme, and it's going to be probably in no other part of the world do I recommend this. I mean, a very tiny portion of the portfolio, but to martingale down. I said, if it's going to buy if it goes down 50%, I'll buy more. If it goes down 50% from there, so 75% down, I'll buy more. And if it goes down 50% from there, I'll buy more. And sure enough, you've largely had that last year, where these companies have gotten pummeled, but we may be seeing light at the end of the tunnel. You have these cycles, like you mentioned, that tend to wash out a lot of the bad, and you have the companies and the creative destruction of the free markets that allow many of the sustainable business models to survive. My long-term bull thesis also, you mentioned a lot of the catalysts, and I think they'll happen. Of course, we're talking about them, so you may put them under the category of expected. The one that I would have thought might have happened prior to election was that I thought both parties would have tried to out-woke each other and get some sort of banking legislation passed. I think the eventual opening up is inevitable. I think we all know that. That's just a question of when, not if. So hopefully things seem to all be moving in the positive direction. You have that second factor I mentioned, which is the mean reversion now. I think a lot of the cannabis indices were down 60, 80% peak to trough this year at one point. So that's usually a pretty good setup. Now, this goes back to an old investing joke. It says, what do you call a market that's down 90%? It was a market that was down 80% and then went down by half. So the problem is just being down 70, 80, 90% doesn't mean that it can't go down more, and there's still a lot of risk. But long-term perspective usually means that there's some opportunity.